We've got a lot to talk about in regards to Alexander Mattison, Dalvin Cook. What do we do walking into week number 10? How do we feel about Dalvin Cook moving forward in 2021? And will he even play week 10? I'm going to give you my best guess as to what's going on with the situation, but I have to warn you up front, nobody knows. Nobody has more information than what I'm about to share with you, and we're speculating. We're making educated guesses here as to what's going to happen. So here we go. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.
Take a lap. And play DFS in week 10 on. All you got to do is go to Smitty1.com, click on either one of these bad boys. Prize picks will be for your props, your over-unders, fantasy underdog. Go play a week 10 only fantasy football contest where you know what you know now. You're taking the knowledge you know now into week 10. You're playing a $5 or a $10 entry for big prizes, and you're playing best ball style, baby. And if you want to do over-unders like Mahomes, people are doubting Mahomes. He won't throw for over 240 yards. Yeah, he will. Do the over. Do over-unders. If you do it, I'll give you a free 2021 subscription to Sleeper U for the remainder of the year, or give you a 15-minute phone call where we can talk about your team. So go do it. So a lot has come out since I posted my first video and this video right now, talking about what Dalvin Cook is being accused of, what Dalvin Cook is accusing the other individual of, and it's kind of he said, she said at this point. To break it down in summary, Adam Schefter reported yesterday that Dalvin Cook is a victim of domestic abuse and possible extortion. Then a DM was released that showed Dalvin Cook admitting to potentially some abuse, and then there wasn't any mention of what he's accusing the other individual of. And then the Dalvin Cook camp releases a detailed report of what happened the day that everything went down, and that Dalvin Cook was held up at gunpoint, maced in the face twice by the woman he's accusing of all of this. We don't know what to make of this, and I don't want anybody to watch this video and say, oh, Smitty's taking a stance. I don't know. I don't know which side is going to be accurate. We certainly need to know if the DM was real, and then that presents a problem of Dalvin Cook admitting what he did without describing any of this in that situation. If Dalvin Cook went through this experience, why didn't he file a police report? Why didn't he mention this in that DM if that DM screenshot is real? Bottom line, it does not look good. Regardless, it's not a good look, and you can say, oh, the league won't put Dalvin Cook on the commissioner exempt list if there isn't any kind of criminal activity going on or a criminal investigation. But that doesn't mean the Vikings wouldn't deactivate him if there was sponsorship and advertising pressures to do so, just like the Deshaun Watson situation. We don't know what we're looking at. We do know that Alexander Mattison, in a fantasy context, and I have to talk about the fantasy context. I'm a fantasy football show. I'm not an unbiased news network reporting on a story. I'm talking about fantasy football implications, and I do know that Alexander Mattison is a league winner. There's a reason I talked about this guy being one of 3 sleeping giant running backs that can win you a league in 2021 if they get into the lineup. And he's already played this year and dominated when he's come in, and now he might be looking at potentially starting the rest of the year. We don't really know. He shouldn't be on waivers. If he is, take a lap for allowing him to sit there. But if you own him, and a lot of my followers do, because he was one of the biggest sleeping giant stashes, put him on your bench and wait players that I've talked about probably in the last 5 years. Him, AJ Dillon, and Tony Pollard. These 3 guys are special. They're not just backups. They're not just great backups. They are league-winning top 5 to 10 running back potential backup running backs. And Mattison would vault your team into the playoffs probably if he gets in there. If you own Mattison, don't accept any of these low ball offers that are going to come rolling in. People treating you like a moron. Hey,
I'll take Mattison from you. Let me give you Adrian Peterson.
That was one offer I got this morning. Adrian Peterson for Alexander Mattison. Come on!
Come on!
Madison's a top 10 running back per start. How many starts, Smitty? I'm going to get that over and over. Smitty, is Dalvin Cook going to play this week? Smitty, should I trade Dalvin Cook away? I can't tell you to just trade Dalvin Cook right now, blindly without knowing where this is going. I suppose it depends on the offer, and you can ask me in the comments below, hey Smitty, does this offer sound good to you? I'll let you know what I think, but in general, I'm not about going and just trying to preemptively trade a guy away for a low price, but I would explore any offers that came in. If for any reason you didn't listen to me and you didn't handcuff Mattison, you didn't reach an entire round ahead of his ADP to ensure that you had this top 5 running back situation locked, you may want to go to the Mattison owner if you own Cook after you take your lap and then see what maybe they want to do. Maybe they want to get Cook from you and you can get something that'll make sure you're taken care of, or try and go get Alexander Mattison. Use guys like Michael Carter, wide receiver 3s. I mean, do your best to do what I just described that people are doing to me. Send me lowball offers. Do your best to go get Mattison. But if I own Mattison and I don't own Cook, I'm not trading Mattison for probably anything. I'll trade him straight up for a CeeDee Lamb. You can laugh if you want, but I'm not trading Mattison then. I'll laugh all the way into the playoffs if I'm using Mattison. So I don't care what anybody thinks about my,
well, give me CeeDee Lamb
offers that I might make them. Say no.
Say no.
I'm fine with it. I even sometimes send people that little one chance CeeDee Lamb for Mattison. Take it or you'll never ever see an offer from me again. I'm not trading him if you don't accept this right now. Like a Mark Cuban Shark Tank final offer. If you take someone else's offer, I'm pulling my deal and I'm out. I'll play hardball sometimes when I've got the leverage like this and Madison's on my team and somebody comes to me and asks for an Adrian Peterson.
CeeDee Lamb, take it or leave it. You'll never get another chance again.
Cutthroat style, baby. I'll keep you updated as more information comes in. Again, we have no idea what side is what right now. What side's up, what side's down. I'm not accusing Cook of anything. I'm not defending Cook. I don't know what to think. Nobody knows what's going on. We'll have to let it play out. And as I know more information as to how it could affect Cook, will he play? Will he sit out? Will the Vikings do something? Will the Vikings step in and say, you're deactivated until this gets worked out? And if you think that can't happen, if you think that sponsorships and advertisers and money won't make the Vikings make a decision, you got another thing coming. But it does all depend on how believable the Cook side is, and is he telling the truth? Is there corroborating evidence to back up his story? Are those witnesses going to testify? Are the witnesses valid, and do their arguments make sense? From what I gather, there was not a police report filed or anybody called on either side of this, which makes no sense whatsoever. If either side is telling the truth, why you wouldn't call the police and get something on file? Maybe Cook didn't want to make a big scene. He was afraid of him being implicated. He just wanted to go away. And if Cook's in the wrong, maybe she didn't want to be in the news. I don't know. We are speculating. Nobody knows. Don't point fingers yet. We can only react with the information we have and try and get ahead of this thing, whether it be entertaining an offer for Cook, whether it be maybe taking a gamble on Cook if you're the Mattison owner. Maybe you just say, hey, and you put together something you're willing to maybe forego, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out because you got Mattison anyway. You kind of have leverage to do that. Ask your questions below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're cooking up, and I'll try and help you and break it down. Get my text advice at heysmitty.com. Get your sleeperu.com membership. Get a lifetime membership if you order one of my lifetime packages at sleeperu.com. If you order it this week, I'll give you a free 2022 draft call, an entire hour, you and me on the phone, and play DFS in week 10 on. All you gotta do is go to smitty1.com, click on either one of these bad boys. Prize picks will be for your props, your over-unders, fantasy underdog. Go play a week 10 only fantasy football contest where you know what you know now. You're taking the knowledge you know now into week 10. You're playing a $5 or a $10 entry for big prizes, and you're playing best ball style, baby. So I don't know about you, but I love to have more skin in the game. So if my week's going bad, I'm not depressed and down because my players aren't doing good. Think about last week. How many fantasy football players did poorly and you were down? It was a down Sunday. You were just like, oh, today sucks. I want next Sunday to come. Imagine having a team blowing up in best ball. Go play Underdog Fantasy by going to smitty1.com right there, clicking on the banner. If you venture there without going to my link, which is at smitty1.com, use promo code Smitty when you get there, but just use the link. It's easier, smitty1.com. And if you want to do over-unders like Mahomes, people are doubting Mahomes. He won't throw for over 240 yards. Yeah, he will. Do the over. Do over-unders. Do 3 over-unders on one fantasy contest, multiply it. It makes it tougher, but you can win more money, and it's fantastic. Go to Prize Picks by going to Smitty1.com. Go to Underdog Fantasy by going to Smitty1.com. Click on either banner, click on both of them. If you do it, I'll give you a free 2021 subscription to Sleeper U for the remainder of the year, or give you a 15-minute phone call where we can talk about your team. So go do it.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty!